You may have seen this video I posted a while back, where I go over which cobra species I believe to be the most deadly in the world. And in that video, I said that I was going to make another one talking about the other contenders, but I never got around to it until now. So today, I'm going to tell you which other cobra species I think could be the deadliest in the world and why. But before we get into that, I need to mention that this is obviously a very difficult question to answer, because there are so many different factors that play into how dangerous an animal is. Like, for example, how venomous they are, how often they bite, how big they can grow, how aggressive they are, how well they can defend themselves, how long they can live, their distribution, their prey, etc. So the way I decided which species were the most deadly was by giving each of these factors a point value, adding up the points for each species, and then ranking them accordingly. But just because a species didn't end up in my top 5 doesn't mean that. I think it's not deadly because all cobras are very venomous and potentially lethal. It's just that some are more dangerous than others. Anyways, let's get into it, starting off with the king cobra. Now, I've already made a whole video on this snake, so I won't bore you with too many details, but essentially, the king cobra is the longest venomous snake in the world and also one of the most aggressive. They will defend themselves against almost anything, and they're even known to hunt other snakes, which puts them at very little risk, because most animals that try to prey on them are either killed or seriously injured in the process. Their venom is also extremely toxic, which makes them a serious threat to humans. All of these things combined is why they earned a total of 18 points, and why I believe them to be the second deadliest cobra species in the world. Next is the Chinese cobra. Now, these guys are actually very similar to king cobras, except they're slightly more venomous, a bit smaller, and a bit more aggressive. Because of this, I gave them 19 points, and I think they are the third deadliest cobra in the world. No, 3 is the monocled cobra. These snakes are extremely aggressive and have very potent venom, which is why I gave them 20 points. And coming in at no, 4 is the blue coral snake. I know what you're probably thinking. Wait a second, didn't the blue coral snake come in at no? 1 in your previous video? Well, yes it did. But after doing more research, I realized that even though it is extremely venomous, kills a lot of people every year, and has almost no anti-venom available, it just doesn't strike me as being as deadly as the others, because it is a very small snake that lives in a very remote area, and it is not nearly as aggressive as the others, which means that it doesn't really have as many opportunities to kill someone. Whereas the other 3 snakes can be found throughout large parts of Asia, where there are lots of people. So even though I do think that the blue coral snake is extremely deadly, I think the others are just a bit more dangerous. So I gave it 21 points, which is why it's no. For on this list, finally, we have the Philippine cobra. This snake is extremely venomous, grows to be very large, is incredibly aggressive, and is also responsible for a large number of deaths every year. All of these things combined earned it 22 points, and the title of the deadliest cobra in the world. Now, even though I think that these are the 5 most deadly cobra species in the world, I'm sure there are some people out there who would argue that there are other species that should be included on this list, like the Thai temple cobra or the African forest cobra. So if you want to see a part 2 to this video where I go over some of those, let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.